So, test. Gotta see how loudly I have to talk.
Hi, hello, welcome.
Smile like that.
It's a regular smile. Yes.
It's crystal clear, we've been for years, struggle astray along the way, but having you by my side makes everything okay. We're watching video clips of all types of shit, laughing out loud, we really hate this crowd, and we don't know where to go, hopefully take it slow. Lots of hustler minds will reject and decline our approach to life, and well, that's just fine. We wanna let others live because it's none of our business. We press your chest upon our mess. There's so many minds, hey, I'd like to align. See beyond this place, we want a part of this race. We do what we can, you better tough out, man. You're about to pass out or get a break for the cloud. Why is it so hard out here? They made it so weird. Try to stay woke and humble and joke. It's fucking hard out here.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of It's Fucking Hard Out Here. And today we have our special guest, Natalie Duran. Long-time friend, long-time associate.
Long time.
Almost to, I think we've known each other longer now than we haven't, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's my favorite thing to say about y'all and your friend group is that y'all have known each other literally longer than you haven't. Like, more of your life than you haven't known each other.
Yeah.
It's pretty weird.
It's super cool. Like, that's such a fantastic dynamic. Like, a lot of people don't stay friends after high school.
Yeah.
And y'all have, like, a very core group. And it wasn't even just high school. Like, it was even before that.
Right. Yeah, we have a child of a friendship now. It's that old.
You have
Oh, okay. I was like, what does that mean?
It's grown up. It's,
It's matured.
Now y'all are teenagers.
They're teenagers, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess so. That's crazy.
Very mature teenagers, though.
Debatable.
Both of you.
Debatable.
I think, like, in the world, we're that way. We present ourselves that way, right? Through our behaviors, though. Definitely not by the way, like, we dress and actually physically present ourselves.
Absolutely not.
But do you remember that one time when we were buying beer at Buddy's Beer Barn in El Paso? And it was just our group, right? And the guy that was working the register, he was just like, "Are y'all in a band?"
Oh, I remember that.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
We felt so cool after,
I
too.
definitely did,
Yeah.
for sure. Because
That
I
was
was like,
awesome.
that makes sense. Because we all dressed like weird, I guess. And I guess even for El Paso, that wasn't too common.
No, yeah,
You
we
were
had a
alternative
unique...
kids.
I mean,
I think
yeah.
it was like alternative artsy, fartsy skater. Yeah.
Yeah, we were just different. And
Yeah.
back then, it was still sort of rare, you know, to be that way.
Especially in that kind of town.
Totally.
So
Yeah.
I grew up in like Fort Worth and stuff, which was, I guess, more city-like than country-like. And so in comparison, you were saying last time that y'all were kind of behind, like, I guess with like styles or things that would happen.
Just like everything in general,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah.
So it really was like not very well known.
Right.
Yeah. And like styles that would roll through there were like super mainstream, you know, like
Yeah.
people trying to copy whatever they saw, like on
Like on the
television.
MTV Music Awards.
Exactly, yeah.
Dude, yeah, definitely. Like the those little the seashells.
Puku shells, yeah.
Shells.
Yeah.
I know one of our friends wore those for a while. That's hilarious.
Shit.
To think of him now and like think of him wearing that stuff back
Right,
then, it's just
right.
like completely two different worlds. It's like, what? But like the preppy attire was a hit in El Paso.
The
And
fresas, man.
the fresa, see,
But we had a unique style of fresas.
I was just gonna say, yeah.
We had the emo fresas, which I thought was hilarious because they
Yeah.
would like sag these like really tight emo pants. And then they'd have like the bright colored polo shirts that were buttoned all the
Collar
way up, collar up. And then they'd
Yeah.
have this like streak. We only see one eye.
I love that so
Like
much.
the-
It's a weird style.
Like, what did Omar call it last time? The
Colombia?
Colombia
Yeah.
cut, like your cut
Yeah.
almost, but like with bangs, you know,
Yeah.
like long bangs.
Yeah.
And then
Oh,
like,
the swoop.
Yeah.
I just got rid of that, actually. I went for
Right.
the shelf.
Yeah.
but then
I
it was
it.
like teased in the back too, you know, like
like
kinda
a little
Yeah.
rooster.
yeah, like a, yeah, and then but it crossed ethnicities too because I mean not like that particular style, but like the preppy style.
Yeah.
I remember there was some like white folks that were present there, right, in our schools. They adopted the preppy style too, which I guess would be more expected. I don't know.
Yeah. The Abercrombie.
That's a touchy thing to say.
Oh, yeah. No, that makes sense.
Yeah, but I realized later on that, a lot of them are Hispanic.
Yeah, right.
I thought they were white
They're
the whole
white
time.
Hispanic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
White
Like
Mexican.
that blew
Yeah.
my mind when I realized it. I was
Yeah.
like, whoa, no, they are. They're like, they come from Mexican families or whatever.
Right.
They're
They're
Hispanic.
very light skinned, so they're white.
Yeah. I was like, oh my God, that is crazy. And then, of course, like the regular white people, they have,
The regular
I mean, I don't mean anything by that. I'm just saying, like,
The other white
the other
people.
white people.
Y'all probably get it.
I mean, there were like gothic kids too that were white, right? There were.
But okay, so let's put this into context because
Okay.
it sounds like we're being racist.
It
but
went bad. It went south really fast.
It did. I feel like our high school was super unique because it's predominantly a Hispanic culture in El Paso town. Yeah, so having I felt like it was super like. I want to say that's not the right word. Segregate is not the right word, but there's like very obvious like
Separatists?
groups of people,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
you'd had the like fresas that would hang out with the fresas, and they had a certain tone to them, and then you had the like preppies and like the like jocks were
Yeah.
predominantly white, right? Yeah, and then it was just us. We're kind of, I don't know, mixed. Batch of misfits.
Okay, but all of those groups, they were only separated by interests
That's true.
and hobbies.
That's
and things
true.
like that. And it had nothing to do with race.
No, absolutely.
Fundamentally.
Yeah.
Fundamentally.
Yeah.
But there weren't very many black people.
There were not.
And when they were there, they all did hang out together, it seemed like.
Yeah.
But then you had like a few outliers too that would just mingle with everybody.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I did
yeah,
notice
yeah.
that. But that was even with like the really like darker skin Hispanic
Totally.
kids, they all stuck together too.
Yep.
You know, like that, which was crazy.
I think it's
was
a
like, whoa.
safety thing, most likely. Survival.
Probably, but I mean, I don't know. I think just groups of people that just naturally happens.
Yeah.
Like it's weird, but I think that's just kind of. And you're right. It probably has to do with safety or where our comfort zone
Right,
is.
yeah, comfort. That's your kin, I don't know. Something
Right.
like that.
I believe that's still like the working theory in psychology, right? I mean, don't you have a
Oh,
bachelor's?
don't bring that up.
I'm not bringing it up, man. Well, 'cause
I'm joking.
I don't want to talk out of my ass.
Well, I mean, that's the basis of psychology. You talk out of your ass, so go ahead.
I don't
And
know.
then
You
test
said
out
it.
theories, right?
Yeah.
You gotta apply them, see if they actually work out, right? But that's all science too in general. But psychology is the less respected science. Let's be real.
Whoa.
You didn't know that?
Well, okay. Well, I have a joke.
That's not my opinion.
I
I
have
can't
a
wait.
joke about it. It's like I have a BS in psychology.
Yeah, there
So
you go.
it's
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Dude, I have the same one because I just tell people like, oh, I have a BS in science. I have a bullshit degree in science. Like, literally, my degree was in exercise science. I'm like, come on, dude. Like, you just YouTube that stuff nowadays. I don't know.
Well, now you can, but back then they didn't know that stuff. You couldn't YouTube it. You could YouTube
That's
it, but probably
true.
not get the right information.
right.
But a lot of the information that I did learn with my bachelor's, like I've only heard it regurgitated maybe once or twice within like respected realms of exercise. Like it's rare. I'm just like, wow, they actually cited those like methodologies. Like I haven't heard that shit since college. You know?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Well, things change so fast too.
That's true too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Evolution of knowledge.
Yeah.
Totally. I mean, I bet you psychology now is very different. I mean, just being more inclusive to people's
Oh, yeah,
like
for
shifted cultures and things like that. Things change so fast. It's not you, Joey. It's the education system.
Look, I'm not taking it personally. I could care less, really. I'm just making observations.
Yeah.
But also with exercise science specifically, there's a lot of bro science out there too. Like that was a phenomenon that occurred and it still occurs to this day. And
Yeah.
you just have to like be careful with that stuff, you know?
You know what guy really pisses me off on YouTube? That guy who's like, I eat all the carbs I want. Have you seen that guy? And he's all fucking swole. It's like,
They're like all that way. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I
know.
guess it's just a trope now.
I'm new to the YouTube world because, like, when I was younger, I was like, YouTube, that's so nerdy. I would not do that. Because I couldn't spend time just like watching things.
Yeah.
I would go to websites and watch like funny stuff. I was just always like into the comedy, but I would never spend time on YouTube.
Yeah.
And now it's like all the rage and like I love it
Oh,
and all much
man,
information
yeah.
there is.
I mean,
Yeah.
hey, YouTube.
Hi, YouTube.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, even... I lost my train of thought.
But
Dang
what
it.
about this guy?
Yeah, that's what I wanted to come back to.
Yeah. So like, I I don't even remember his name. Probably shouldn't name him if I knew his name, so I don't get
I
sued.
think that'd be
but,
okay. Maybe not. I don't know.
I don't know how that
Are
works.
we allowed to criticize people? Put his name in the comments below.
He's like, I think a lot of celebrities use him, and like, he's like very against like dieting and very against like, oh, don't cut out carbs, or like, he's against cardio, because he's like, cardio just basically burns calories. It doesn't actually help you lose weight. So calories are stored in your blood. So if you're just, working off calories, you're just replenishing them after you eat. That's his train of thought.
I was like, yeah, I don't know if that's accurate.
Cardio's like good for your heart.
It's
right?
good for your cardiovascular. You need cardio. And I think it's just one of those sensationalism things where he's just like, I'm outside the box
So he's
kind of
different.
thing. Right, yeah. But I always get ads for him, like,
That's
put
weird.
down the salad and pick up a donut kind of thing. It's just like, I mean, I'm down.
Okay,
I mean, I'll do it, but I hate you.
Exactly.
what does he look like? Let's get down to
Oh,
it.
but
Come on.
no, I don't want to get into
Just
that. 'cause
do
then
it.
it's
Is
like-
he all beefy and like muscly and
Yeah,
stuff?
yeah.
Because he works out all the time.
Right.
We got
but
that far.
So I think the bottom line is like, he's for lifting weights.
What does he look like?
Dude.
Is he Hispanic? Is he black? Is he white?
He's white.
White guy. Okay.
White guy.
Well, how does his hair look usually?
Fuck if I know, dude. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm so terrible at describing
wanna know
people.
who it is.
I'll send you. I'll send
Okay.
you an ad of
All
his.
right.
Maybe you'll get into it. Maybe
Yeah.
you'll become beefy like him one
Send
day.
it.
I'll
No.
get targeted ads right now, just like starting to talk about him.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
After
They're
this
just gonna
episode,
know somehow that
It
Yeah.
happens. I had a meeting with wine reps, and like I don't even know if my phone was nearby. And now I get all those wine ads.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Well, because they know that the phones talk to each other, right? That's how
They
I
do.
understand it. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they know
Because
that
she
you're
was
nearby,
texting me, and
right.
they know what she does.
Yep.
So
Yep.
it's weird.
Who
how
knows if
that
that's true?
works.
I'm just kidding.
It is. They put that stuff out.
Yeah.
That's how it works. It's like, it's not that they hear you. It's because other people's phones are searching that stuff or talking about that stuff, and they're like, oh, those two phones were close to each other, and this is what they did, and
Yeah.
so then they connect to your ads like that.
Yeah.
You know what's funny about that? I was just thinking to myself, like, oh yeah, and where'd you learn this? On the internet?
Probably.
I'm just saying.
Study.
Dude,
Reddit.
it's a circular hellhole out here. It is so bad.
For sure. We're just spreading misinformation amongst
Everywhere.
ourselves, and it's
It's
how it
difficult.
goes.
It is so difficult because I used to be very like gung ho, science-based focus, and like academia was like the pinnacle of
Right.
knowledge. I'm like, dude, that's where it's at. That's what's up. They're discovering things, right? And then now it's just like, oh my god, everything is saturated with nonsense at the
Yeah.
same time. And there's so much like corruption too, and it's like, okay,
So much corruption, even in psychology, like the way they do studies and stuff. So much in science.
Oh,
that
my
is
God.
the
Things.
primary reason why I did not pursue my career.
that's cool.
Ah, that's
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Noble.
Yep, because I saw all these studies that were just being paid off to show these certain results, and I was just like,
Yeah.
I'm not down for that. I'm not down for that.
Exactly. That
Which sucks, right? Because it's just like, oh, follow the science. Like, you're supposed to trust the experts. It's just like, yeah, the experts are fucked.
That's one of my favorite things that people say. It's like trust the science, and I'm like, which one?
Yeah,
because there's
good point.
multiple versions.
I was
Exactly,
one of
yeah.
those people, and it's hard though because you get you're so convicted, to that ideology.
You think that you're doing the moral right. You
Right.
know, it's like, I know what I'm talking about. I'm doing the right things. Like, this is all proven. Like, everyone's behind me on this.
Yeah.
And then you find out that it's different.
You know what
You're
it
like,
really
"But."
comes down to is just groupthink.
Yes.
That's basically, it's a fucking popularity contest.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I remember.
Sorry, we're not supposed to cuss on this.
Yeah,
I
the
did
f bombs.
too.
We should just watch the
I
f
think
bombs.
it's not, if it's not excessive, And plus, we're small.
You're asking the wrong person, dude. Like, do you know me?
I'm the same way.
No, yeah, I'm the
Toned
same
it
way.
down a lot.
Yeah.
We're cuss
Okay.
heads
We're
for
all the
sure.
same way
Alright.
because it's like therapeutic, right? So they say. Huh?
Yeah,
Colorful language.
I used when I was in college, and I remember just spending so much time on campus because I'm a big old dummy, and I'm like, oh my god, I have to force myself to be here and like study the material because I'm just not gonna get it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna pass. But I would get on YouTube and I would just watch videos of things that like really stimulated my interest, And I would have these thoughts to myself like, man, I should just become like a graduate of YouTube University, you know? Like, I should just learn things here. Like, why am I going to school all the time? Dude, I fucking hate it here. Like, I'm miserable as hell.
Yeah.
Well, because you have to. You are put into a standard of like, where's your degree? You can't get a job without a degree.
Yeah.
But if you were to put... So resumes are so interesting. It depends on where you're going to apply, but you can literally just write, my education is courses in this. You don't have to list your university. You don't have to list YouTube. You can just say, I studied this, I studied that, or I have knowledge in this, or like 2 to 3 years experience with this.
Right.
And it could be from YouTube.
Yeah.
If you word your resume correctly. And if you have your interview, you know.
Oh, yeah. There's so many...
I mean, it depends on the company too, and the person hiring you as well.
Yeah. You can't apply to Google and be all like, "Hey, I just YouTubed all of this," but they might be all like, "That's kind of a good idea."
Yeah,
you
you can say, "I Googled everything."
You know, I used to only Google, like, I would Google things and be all like scholarly, like with like,
right,
yeah,
right.
No, that was like a credible source though.
Yeah.
Google Scholar. I mean, it still is. Yeah.
No, I'm all for that. I'm all for like self-learning, like self-education. Basically, all of my like art endeavors came from a foundation in YouTube. Like that is where I learned the basics of like metalsmithing.
Oh, wow.
And like there's just so many resources. Like you'd be kind of silly not to use them.
Yes.
You know? And like when people are like, "Oh, I don't know how to do this." Just like, dude, YouTube it.
Yeah.
Now
It's
whenever
there.
I Google things, I get YouTube
Yeah.
videos majority of the time.
You'll
like
find
they're first.
everything. You don't know how to nair your
That's all
asshole?
it is.
There's
You
a
have
video
story
for
to
that. Sorry, we can cut that out.
No, that's fine. Because I sent y'all that video, right, of the guy narrowing his
it's
butthole.
Very disturbing.
So educational. I'm a fan.
It stays on YouTube because it's educational, and he shows you his butthole and spreads his cheeks, and he even puckers his
Flashes
anus.
it a few times. Oh,
It is great. I love it.
It's fantastic.
I mean, I
love
watched
that
all
he
of it.
found a way to do that.
yeah.
Yeah.
So since then, I was like, oh, I'm gonna get nair. I got nair, and the deed is done. Not on my
Not the
butthole.
butthole.
Oh, I was gonna say, did it
Yeah,
burn?
I went for the boy parts, and
The in betweens.
no in betweens, just the boy parts,
just the boy
because I
parts.
don't like the hair there.
The
And
your parts.
the huh?
It's not specifically boy parts.
Oh, excuse me, right? My parts, and so I have this like dry sensitive skin
Yeah.
area on the scrotum, on like the top part of the scrotum, and it just started itching like for a while, and it just never caused any like damage or anything. It's just, I figured, okay, there's something different about the skin. It's dry, whatever. It's not killing me. Leave it at that. But when I nared it,
He chemical burned it.
How bad did that hurt?
it's burned. Like I'm still healing
is it like
right
a
now.
boil like burn?
It's
or?
it's all well, it's like it's as if he
Ooh.
concrete scratched it, like
Yeah.
strawberry,
Scaly.
A
raspberry,
little raspberry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, dude, that's crazy.
On top of the texture of the actual scrotum, that just sounds awful.
Because it's rough, right? Like it's hard to get in there. And so I was like, oh yeah, Nair is perfect because it is like, it's a cream base and you just put it everywhere, right? And then it started burning, dude, and I let it burn too long.
You're like, yeah, it burns.
He's like, I gotta make sure it works.
But now,
Oh my
now I think
gosh.
the skin's no longer gonna itch because it's like gonna heal
just-
calloused or
you
something.
just-
And,
He's
Yeah,
got a
killed
mini
it.
experiment going on.
so I'm stoked about that.
But we won't
Check
find
the
out
next
until
episode.
it heals. Yeah.
And then on top of that, dude, I discovered like 10 new moles. I'm just like, oh my god.
Gotta check yourself routinely.
He was aware of like
Three.
four,
Like three, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Hi,
There's Ziggy.
Yeah, I think we're at that age too, where
Yeah.
you just start discovering weird things about the body.
Yeah, I have freckles on my arm now. I used to not have freckles.
Yeah.
That's what I told her. I was like, I think these are just viejito moles, like, because I was worried about them at first, but I'm like, okay, they're uniformed, like they don't look malicious.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah.
But he did make them bleed because of the nair.
They bled a little because of the nair.
He did this within 10 minutes before work. He did it 3 times.
Dude.
Wow.
Oh my god.
Wow.
People
No,
don't
call
need-
him out. Call him out.
No, people don't need to know why I'm like kind of like getting there right on time or maybe a little late, you know.
But you made it on time. You're fine. So
Ish.
he lives like 2 minutes from work.
5 minutes, okay? Because people drive slow as hell. No, I drive fast. I get it. I drive a little too fast for
you're
most people's
scary.
taste.
Aggressive.
I don't like it.
Oh, he pulled such a crazy move the
Baby,
other day.
yeah. I'm trying to work on it, okay?
Oh my gosh.
It was good.
Yeah.
was
Well,
fun.
yeah, I'd love to hear an update of your balls. Next episode.
All right, yeah, I guess now it's a thing. This will
It's
be
a
a
thing.
talking point
It happens.
for the podcast.
It's
Yay!
hard out here.
Yeah,
I
but
just
it
wanted to
did-
be pure. I'm just
we
kidding.
make-
I'm not implying hair is like inherently bad or anything. Okay, I
He
just think
just
it's gross.
hates it. He hates it.
Yeah, I get it though. I'm a very hairy person, and like I do the seasonal leg hair grow out, but in the summertime, there's something that really like creeps me out about sweat like trickling in between the hairs. You know, I just
Well, then
yeah,
it
I
makes you
can't
feel
do
like
that.
something's crawling on your leg. Most
It's just
likely.
it's just uncomfortable.
Do you shave, wax, nair?
I shave. I shave. But since
Dude,
the
you should try
video,
Nair.
I bought Nair.
Education on that shit's
For real. I
good.
was like, it works on an asshole. I can
Sponsor me.
use it on my legs.
Good.
Yeah. So it's still waiting there for me.
I'm gonna send in my sponsor me video to Nair.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone's familiar with that. Like in skateboarding, that used to be a thing. You would send in a sponsor me tape.
Oh, that's
Like
right.
a VHS, you
Yeah,
would
yeah,
send it to
yeah.
a skateboard company that says sponsor me, and they got like thousands upon thousands. I'm
Oh
sure.
my goodness, that must be
Never
so
watched
annoying.
any of them. They probably never watched any of them. No.
No way.
Yeah. Maybe in the earlier days, they're sure. You know, like they started doing it for a reason, right? I assume.
Right. They must have put out a call because like skateboarding wasn't as popular or
Yeah.
being sponsored wasn't as popular.
Yeah.
Right.
And how could they go skate? Wait.
Scout.
There we go. How could they go scout like all these skate parks?
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
there'd be
It was
too
all
many.
word of mouth. Not even skate park. Dude, skate parks were scarce back
Oh,
then
that's
too.
true.
Yeah.
So it'd be like, go hang out in a parking lot. Let's check out this
like
kid.
you just
Passing
now.
out your tape.
Nowadays you call them Lokies. You know, you just hear about the locals that are really good, and just all word of mouth. It gets out. If you're good, you're good. People are gonna find out. You know, Just
Okay.
the whole like sponsor me tape kind of became irrelevant so fast, just as quick as it like birthed, I guess. You know,
That's wild.
but I want to go back to learning things on YouTube for you, like. So this is one of the reasons, like, I mean, other than, like we're like super besties, but I've always been inspired by all of my friends, really. I've always looked up to all of my friends because y'all do amazing things, in my opinion. And so for you, dude, you just like started this like small business, and you want to talk about that a little bit, or
Yeah.
how you got it going, and how difficult or how successful, or anything in between. Like, how's that been?
Yeah, I first started in, I want to say 2017, 2016, as like a means of like processing stuff, like at that time I was working at a boutique, which was just soul sucking, and I saw the
I'm sorry, processing in what sense?
emotional.
Oh, okay.
And I saw the like cheap jewelry that they were getting, and I was like, I could make that. I'm pretty sure I can make that, and
Nice.
like just kind of like started studying like formation of metal and understanding how to work with it. Don't tell him this, but I would take jewelry apart and like put it back together so I
Nice.
know how it worked.
Reverse engineering.
Exactly. Yeah. And so, and then it just became like a thing where I obsess a lot. Like I have to go through like my obsession like really intensely. And then that's kind of like a way for me to process my emotions, if that makes sense.
Totally.
So, I took like an intro to metalsmithing, and like the first week of the class, we made a ring, and I was just like blown away that it didn't take very long and that I could do it. You know what I mean? It's just like, you don't need very many tools, but you could just do it. And then there was like a whole community involved with metalsmithing that was just like, we want to teach you, like it wasn't like a weird, I feel like there's a lot of industries where, or especially with art, that is super competitive and it's like very like gatekeeping. Like we
Yes.
don't want you to know the secrets of the trade. But there it was just like, oh, are you struggling with this? Like, let me give you a tip on how I learned how to do this. Or like, you know what I mean? Like that was really, I think that was the most inspiring thing. And so after one class, I was just like super, super just hyped about it.
Yes.
And I like started unofficially started a business and just started like playing around with designs, you know, drawing on paper and making them come to real life was really like really strange like phenomena, you know. Like, have you seen those videos where it's like paper and someone snaps and it's, you know, the actual thing that comes out? Yeah, it felt like that. Materialize it, yeah. And it's like going through the process is like the hardest part, you know, because like the finished product is just like, that's what people see, right? But actually going through the whole thing, that's a roller coaster. It's a whole like mind. Oh, I don't know how else to say that other than cuss, but whatever. It's just like it blows your mind kind of thing. So yeah, and then that time I was going through like a really bad bout of depression, and I like used that as a way to kind of for a lack of a better phrase, like hammer out my emotions.
Okay.
So my original like name was Silence, P-S-I-L-E-N-S.
Oh my God, I barely remember that.
Remember that? Yeah. And
fun.
but the name came out of somewhere really dark. Like it was kind of like a play on words for silence, which was how I felt. Like I couldn't like express myself.
Yeah.
So the only way I could express myself was through art.
Work,
yeah.
Oh my God. So
I know,
dark.
it was so moody.
though.
Yeah, it was, and you know what? Like, I realized that people weren't responding to that. You know, like it was just too dark. It was too like too upfront. You know? Yeah, right. I know. It's just like, I just want some jewelry, dude. Chill. And Joey modeled for me a few times, which is really cool.
I need to see that.
Oh, they're great. There's one photo, my favorite. I have so many favorite photos of you, but this one was my, like, the most one. Like, he was wearing a tunic, one of my tunics, and I have the pendant showing, and he's, like, doing this.
Oh my God.
And you know that, like, a taxidermied, like, monkey cat that's, like, doing this? Like, what is that?
About.
Yes.
Yeah.
I do it.
He was doing that pose, and, like, I posted on Instagram, and it was like hilarious.
Yeah.
Like it was a good hit because it was just
Yes, it is.
side by side. Yeah.
You're
anyway,
a great model.
you
No,
are.
dude, they
you
were
are
comparing
so
me-
good.
Super photogenic.
Yeah, you are. You've got the angles.
Really? I don't
Yes.
think so.
Yeah, you do.
Oh, okay,
You really
maybe I
do.
should. Anyways, no, they were comparing me to a meerkat.
Oh, you were so meerkat though.
They're
Yeah,
cute.
they're
What do you want to do?
But also
don't
like
think
very
they're
like frantic.
Yeah, I
and
get
like
it. Okay, I'm skittish. Yes, I know. Jeez.
Meerkats, the ones that are like this.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
And then like one of my other like good friends from back then, he was like heavy set, so they didn't always, but they did call us Timon and Pumbaa for a little bit.
That's right. It was all in good fun.
So obvious.
It was
who's
all
who,
in good
right?
fun.
Well, as soon as you said it, I realized where it was going.
When I was a young mortal.
Did y'all do this?
I love that movie, so I mean,
good.
I'm kind of okay with it, but I like musicals. It's not about me.
Do you really?
Yeah, a little
I
bit.
didn't know that.
Some are annoying, but
They're all annoying.
Yeah, I've never been a fan of it.
some of them are. I don't know. Well, maybe.
Jesus Christ Superstar
Maybe
was your
musicals.
jam.
Wait, he showed that to me? That's a great film.
Oh man, you're one of those.
Te dije.
It's wild. Like, I mean, anytime, if it wasn't him showing me, I'd probably be like, what
Yeah.
the hell is this?
Yeah.
But he was so excited. He sang the entire movie.
The entire one? Dude.
That movie runs deep in my family because they're very religious,
Yeah.
and we would watch it anytime we'd all get together. And my uncle, who was a doctor, had a very nice house, big screen TV, and like things echo in like his main living room area because it's like tall ceilings and stuff or whatever. And he was
theater.
Dude,
It was an event.
essentially. Yeah, and it was an event, because he had really good taste. But whatever, that's besides the point. In my opinion, we would watch the movie and everyone would sing. Like my aunts and my
That's cool. I
uncle,
dig
we'd all
that.
sing. It was like a family thing we would do, and everyone was like so devout in their faith, at least, So it was like a very personal,
a
emotional
bonding.
experience.
Yeah.
Dude. Like,
Well, you know about their Christmases and things when they would all make skits. And
I remember.
they would fill them and stuff.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I was like,
man.
yeah.
Adorable as hell.
That's
what
cool.
the heck? They
Yeah.
were close. That is so cute.
Yeah.
We were close, yeah. It's helped, for like the more recent years too, like much later years, right? Then, because I don't know, there's a bond there for sure.
Yeah.
But like as I've gotten older, I have found out more and more about like sketchy things that have occurred and like
yeah.
secrets.
Family
Right.
secrets.
Yeah.
So many secrets. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh, that's how we've kept it together because nobody confronts anybody about things.
Yeah.
Or they bottle it up and they're pretty big on forgiveness, which I can appreciate, you
Right.
know. And it
It's the Jesus way.
yeah, but it doesn't seem to be toxic,
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
you know.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, it's not in a toxic way that they're like bottling things up and just like forgetting about it. No, it's like a genuine forgiveness. Like one time my freaking uncle and my brother got into it. My mom's brother and my brother fought, right? And physically, yeah, because
Whoa.
yeah, because they had said something about my dad and my brother got super defensive and they had been drinking. So boom, boom, boom. My mom got pissed. She went to her brother and just like let him have it in his house. And, you know, and then he was all pissed and he was like, get the hell out of my house. And then of course my cousin, you know, cause since we were close, everyone took care of everyone. He was just like, hey, auntie, you know, do you need a ride home? Like, are you okay? Make sure you get home, you know, safely, always taking care of each other. And then the next time, he saw her, they weren't talking for a little bit, but he just went up to her, gave her a hug from behind, kissed her on the head, and just said, I love you, I'm sorry.
Aw.
And then it's like, okay, yeah, you know.
That's so nice.
Did you do the same to your brother? They were the ones going at it.
I haven't heard, but you know, men typically, especially in these more machismo-based
Yeah.
Just forget
dynamics.
about it and move on, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, but then the fights are the results of that,
They're
right?
Like, oh, we did it. It's done.
Yeah.
Dude, I straight up told one of my friends one time, whose boyfriend didn't like me for a while. I was like telling her, I was like, okay, look, like he doesn't like me. It's obvious, you know. I don't feel the greatest about him. Ask him if he wants to fight. If we fight, I feel like that'll squash it and we'll be done with it.
I feel like that's so Chuco.
Dude, it is. But at the time, I was like, this seems to be.
Go?
Yeah.
It seems to be like not necessary, but a way to like squash things, you know,
Right.
and put an end to it because
He
I'm
probably wasn't
tired of
going to
it.
come up to you and be like, listen, I don't like you because.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what
Don't know how to
happened?
use words.
Because I even offered that, he was just like, okay, no, we're good.
Wow.
See?
Wow.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying, dude. Like, I was like, you know what? And he's much larger than me. And I was like, he could mess me up most likely, but I'm going to put in a good effort. You know, I'm going to do my best. What can you do, you know?
Yeah.
But he respected that I even, like, put that offer up. Like, do you want to just go, dude? Like, you know, I'm tired of this. Like, whatever.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
That's
and even then, when
awesome.
we would get together after that, like we would still end up arguing, and then at that point, I was just like, dude, I don't want to hang out with him. I don't want to be
Yeah.
around him. I'm done.
Yeah.
Like I don't need that
You
energy
tried.
in my life.
Yeah. No, yeah. Hard boundary for sure.
But anyways, wow, we
So-
went off track. Yeah.
When you
Oh,
were
gosh.
doing your work, did it help you? Like, did it help you get those emotions out? Did you see the light at the end of the tunnel?
Yeah.
And did you transform like your work?
Yeah, I think that it was therapeutic in a way, but not in a helpful way. Like so I told you the meaning behind the name, and then I realized that it was just me like deflecting, right? So I was physically, you know, working my mind and my body, but it wasn't like emotionally like dealing with things.
Right, not processing.
Not processing. And so I was just like, this is not a good setup for a business. So I'm just gonna like, you know, I'm gonna drop this. I took a break and then came back to it with a much more different approach. And then I came up with Dia Luna, which is a much happier like approach to a business. Dia Luna is day moon, which in my mind is like a balance between night and day, right? So it's a lot more level-headed, a lot more of a transformative way of dealing with both energies, night and day, good, bad, light and dark, whatever
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Balance,
Yeah,
yeah.
balance. And that was a lot more therapeutic and a lot more like,
Okay.
you know, instead of embracing the dark, you know, it was a lot more of like, no, we need to find balance, and how are we going to find balance? And so through the process of just even creating the name was therapeutic in itself, you know? So yeah, and that's how that was started.
That
Sort
was
of like
really
new
neat.
beginnings.
right.
It was a much needed new beginning, and I think when you set out a project, it's very vulnerable. You know, you're putting yourself out there, and like I said, people like, yeah, but like, you know, the name of your project really does make an impression on people. You know,
So it was her
It's your
idea.
brand.
it's effing hard out here is like, that's relatable. Like, you know, that's something that's going to invite people, you know, and it's not coming from a dark place. It's coming from a place of like camaraderie, you know?
Oh.
Dude,
Yeah.
that's what I'm hoping for, but I was worried about it when you started saying how like the what was it?
Silence?
Silence? Yeah, it wasn't so inviting. I'm like, oh man, is our title not
No,
inviting?
it is. It is. Well, so I don't know. I mean, like, silence is, I don't know. I think there has like a negative connotation to it. And like,
True.
it's effing hard out
see
here is like, yeah, you're right. You know what I mean? It's a knee slapper right there. Yeah, I mean, it's inviting for sure. Yeah, and it's kind of funny, you know. It's like it's got a little comedic
I
thing
like
to
that.
it.
So given that, yeah, like when you were going through these processes of establishing what it is you wanted to do and how you wanted to present it,
Yeah.
what other things were going on at the time that like, because you use that as like a therapeutic means, right?
Yeah.
To channel those energies that were negative and you needed to learn how to deal and cope with them or whatever.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
what were you doing other than that at the time, like work-wise, you know?
I was still working at the boutique, and then my partner's mother got really sick. And so that was kind of a hard adjustment for him, and he had to be gone for long periods of time to help out his family. And it just put a strain on us, you know? So like, that was kind of a pivotal moment of trying to find what it is that I wanted to do, because I had finished school not too long before that.
Yeah.
And I knew, so I knew the last semester of college, and I took the long route. I
Yeah.
was like in school for 7 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I basically have 2 majors. I'm 1 course short of being a biologist.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, I guess. But the last semester of college, I decided, I was like, screw this. Screw this academia BS. Like, in order for me to achieve my goals, I have to have another 10 years of this. I wanted to do neuropsychology. That was what I wanted to do. And also, like, just the ethical part of it was just like so distasteful to me. I was just like, I'm not going to do this. I need to be true to myself. So that was like the deciding factor. I'm just going to start a business. I'm going to do this for myself because I have control over it, and it has meaning, and it's coming from a place of just being genuine, you know? And so I graduated. I broke the news to my mom, hey, sorry, both our hardworking money is going to nowhere. Yeah, it was rough. It was rough, but I think she was supportive of me just following what I wanted to do.
Yeah, that's great.
And so, I was working full time, and I didn't have time to focus on my business.
Yeah.
So I was just like, well, what am I going to do? And my partner invited me to go help his family out and work for their business.
Okay.
And so I started working for their business, and it's so inspiring. It was just very inspiring to be outdoors and to be, you know, in the field all day. And honestly, I think it saved my life. Like, being able to connect with nature was like, I don't know. You've seen my transition of being like super aggressive, super violent, super like.
What transition?
Like, well, I'm getting there. Well, you think I'm still aggressive? I don't beat you up anymore. I don't. I mean,
you've never really
anymore.
beat me up.
Okay.
Maybe the other boys.
Okay. Oh, that's true. Yeah, it's because I liked you.
I'm telling you, dude, I stay out of conflict. I don't like conflict.
Yeah. Well, no, there was like a huge, like, just I don't know, mental shift of being so aggressive to being like more zen. Yeah.
And choosing when that aggression comes out.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
Exactly.
See, that's the thing. I think I always got that less aggressive version of you, always.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Because I remember when we first started hanging out a lot, we would just like talk about everything and anything.
Yeah.
You
But
know?
we would also argue a lot.
I didn't think we were arguing.
I was arguing.
Oh, okay.
I was arguing.
I thought we were just talking. I don't know. Really? I don't remember arguing.
Yeah, I know. Well, like debating, not arguing,
Okay,
just
maybe,
debating. Yeah.
Discussing different opposing
Right,
ideas, I suppose. I don't know.
Yeah.
Wow, dude. Okay, I don't remember that. I always thought we agreed on so much.
What? We
Yeah.
never agreed on anything. I think that was so frustrating, but also like why I enjoyed talking to you so much because you just didn't agree.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he does it in such a way that I don't think he realizes that it's a conflict.
Uh-huh.
Like he's just expressing himself.
Yeah. And because he knows he's right and thinks he's right.
Wow.
Well, because you're so logical, so you're like
Super logical.
So you were you got asked to go help the family business, and that's crazy. So that was that more in line with okay, I'm setting this up because I think I already know the answer. Like that seemed to be more in line with like what you wanted to do, generally speaking, right? Like be outside, engage with nature.
I didn't know that at the time, I don't think.
What?
I don't
Dude,
think
I knew that about you.
Yeah,
Okay,
but
that's
you know,
weird.
that it's different in here,
Yeah,
right?
I'm now finding out.
Yeah, I mean, I've always been outdoorsy. I've always appreciated nature, but this was like a whole, like, you're being submersed in it because, like, you're working the land. You know what I mean? So it was a totally different perspective of nature, and also just like learning what was out there.
Yeah.
You know, it was super humbling to be like, oh, that's a snake that can like end my life in about 2 hours.
Jesus.
Cool. So let's like getting to know that. A different type of awareness. It's just shifting of consciousness for sure. Like
that kind of stuff scares me, dude.
it's awesome.
terrifying.
It's awesome. It's so yeah. I mean, I think that's a survival thing. You know, to be terrified of what could possibly kill you out there. But also, it's also very like strengthening when you can identify those things and you know how to handle those situations.
Right.
You know?
It's kind of reassuring. You're
Yeah.
like, oh, right. Don't go that way. 'cause
Exactly.
That's over there.
Right. Or don't eat that plant because you'll die.
Oh.
Yeah.
See, like that's true. I mean, because I hold you in such high regard because of that kind of information. Because you're just like so well versed in like survival,
Yeah.
and that I would trust you with like my life.
Oh, that's real sweet. Don't trust me too much, though. Just kidding. Just kidding.
I tell her it's okay.
No. And I think that like submersion into that kind of survival or just like knowing what's around you made me feel more connected, you know? And I was desperately seeking connection, desperately looking for something to connect with. And like, that was it.
So was the learning
so
curve
fascinating.
not so difficult because you were so excited about it, or?
There was definitely like a learning curve. So my partner, he was, born and raised out in middle of nowhere. Sorry, I almost cussed. And so he had like a really strong foundation of, what's out there. But, he taught me the basics of how to identify certain patterns, like leaf patterns and things like that. And after that, I was just like, cool, got it. And I know more than him now. And he like always he always like throws that, not he doesn't throw it in my face, but he's always just like, dude, like I lived here my entire life. Like it's kind of like weird that you're teaching me things. But he's saying that in like a appreciative way,
Sure.
In a respectful way.
Right. Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have learned anything on my own. You know what I mean? It's just, it can be tough to like pick up a book and try to identify things, especially if you don't know their terminology or if you don't know like
what you're looking for.
Right.
So you're just like really thrown right into it and just kind of sucked that all in.
And I think that is the best, for me, is the best way to learn, is just, you know, go down that rabbit hole and just eat, breathe, and shit it all day long. You know what I mean? Like that's, and again, it goes along with my obsessive like personality. It's like, that's just, that's how I learned.
So you dive right into this. And so it seems like it's going to be really time consuming. How did you balance your new art as well as your new lifestyle?
It was not healthy. It was not healthy at all. So I worked, 8-hour days and then would work another 5 hours on my art. So I was working like 13-hour or 14-hour days. And you do the math. And my partner at one time, he had a serious talk, and he's like a workaholic too. So for him to come to me with that, I was just like, you're not going to come at me that way. But at the end of the day, I knew he was right. I knew that he was, concerned about me. He was like, I wouldn't eat. I wouldn't like sleep. I wasn't taking care of myself, but it was an obsession. So I had to do it. I guess not obsession. It's addiction. It's addiction.
Workaholic.
But I was also like thriving in my business. I was doing really good. And that was like reassuring that like I was on the right path and I was doing the right thing.
That's awesome.
So in my mind, I wasn't doing anything wrong. It was justified,
And so what other areas of your life did it start to affect that where you realize, have you reeled it back some? Where does it go now?
Yeah. I mean, health-wise, having headaches all the time or just being tired, or like it really affected like my physical capacity. Like I have a labor-intensive job, physical labor-intensive job, and I couldn't like do tasks throughout the day, or I would forget things really easily. And so, you got to be kind of on your game, especially with, livestock and being around big animals that can hurt you.
God.
You can't be like tired.
You can't.
Have to be
Monsters.
ready.
You can't. Yeah. And also it was affecting our personal relationship together and not spending time and kind of just getting lost in our own things. So it was just like there was nothing happening between us. So
How'd you remedy that?
It was remedied by the one thing that I hate in life, which is scheduling. I hate scheduling. I think ever since I was a kid, I just thought that was such a like lame part of being an adult. It's just like you can't do whatever you want. Like you have to put it on paper and like actually commit to that. No, it's awful. Hello.
Wow. Well, I guess this is part of our reality, right?
Yeah.
This is
BRB.
Yeah, go.
BRB.
Come up, please. Sorry, guys. One of the childrens has come to the door to see what's up. We told them we needed some time, but it's okay. Anyways, what was the last thing you said?
How was it remedied?
How was it remedied? Yes.
And so just scheduling or just compartmentalizing things that were important, like self-care and working on our relationship and kind of prioritizing those things over work. And
Would you schedule that time in?
And it was weird.
Whoa,
It was really weird, and I like, we were trying to be like, okay, like we'll be intimate this day, or like, and I hate that.
Wait, really?
I hate that.
You're not feeling it that day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or just like, well, I don't mean like, schedule like a month in advance.
Right,
like this day we're going to.
No, sure.
No, it was like week to week.
Even
like,
then,
okay, like, set a time, some time and we'll
crazy.
go on
It's
a
not
date or
natural,
something.
right?
It's not. And I hate that. I'm not a schedule person and I hate planning things. I'm not a planner. I love to go with the flow. I love to be spontaneous. My partner's a Virgo and that's what he gets off on. He likes to be planned and likes to be
Orderly.
methodological. whatever that word is. Methodical. And that's just not me.
Yeah.
I just don't thrive in that kind of thing. So, yeah.
Do you relate?
I live in the chaos.
I don't enjoy scheduling either. I hate it.
Yeah.
But he knows it's necessary.
It's efficient, exactly.
It's efficient,
Yeah.
for sure. For sure.
I don't like it. I don't do it. I don't.
Yeah.
I literally do it on the fly. Like, when we make a plan, it's like, okay, now I have to think about, okay, how long is this going to take? Okay, we have to consider that. And then are we doing another thing? Like today, right? We went to GalaxyCon. We literally just got back from GalaxyCon and like did this.
Oh, had a full day.
So, dude, it's been a day. Earlier, I was like, I don't know if I'm going to make it.
That's like how all our days are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have to be only because we are taking on so much now. And that's just the only way I see that it can get done, really.
Yeah.
And we've slacked so much, though, too.
Well, you need, I mean, call it slacking, but also call it taking a break, you know? Taking a time for yourself.
We can call it that, too.
Yeah. No, well, that's
It's
what
like,
I
I
see
need
it
to drop
as.
my responsibilities
Totally.
just a little bit.
And that's
Let it go.
fine.
But the
You
reason
can do
why
that.
I'm okay with doing that is because I also like to just live in the moment and just be some sort of spontaneous, you know? Because
Totally.
I don't like being so dogmatically structured, right?
I don't think that's how we were supposed to be. Our
Right.
human nature is not that.
There's systems, I think, and like processes,
Yeah.
but to have it so extreme as the way we kind of have to do it now,
Right.
it's not natural.
Right. Yeah. There should be guidelines at best.
Yeah.
I think there are people out there, though, that it is not necessary, but they do definitely have no issues like operating that way.
Right.
I
Yeah.
think
The
there
type
are
A
some people, type
personalities.
As,
Yeah.
Exactly. So I don't, because we're only speaking from our perspectives
Right.
and experiences,
We want to
right?
hear your perspective.
Yeah. And because, I mean, that's one of the main reasons why we wanted to start this podcast in the first place was just because, like, we would hear time and time again through all these podcasts and, like, shows, whatever, like, people talking about how, like, you just gotta sacrifice it all and, you know, work
Con
around the
razón, though.
clock.
I mean, you gotta like do that within your own means.
Right, but see, but you were doing that for a while where you were working, 13+ hour days, right?
Yeah.
And you were successful. You were like thriving, right? And that's what it seems to take, you know, and I haven't found otherwise yet.
Yeah.
But I sympathize because I'm just like, but what about everyone else that's just
Yeah.
like not capable of it?
Right.
And what about people that suffer from it too?
Right.
You know, even though they are like by capitalistic standards successful,
Right.
like what kind of toll is it actually taking on them? You know,
Yeah.
that's the things that I like wanted to talk about too. It's just like,
Yeah.
that's not healthy, right?
I don't think people talk about that, and I don't think people
That's what I'm
recognize
saying.
that. Yeah, I mean, I've known plenty of artists who are like, it's for the love of the art, it's for the love of the art, but they don't talk about for the love of themselves or
Yeah.
the love of the process or anything. Well, the love of the process too, but also it's more about the money aspect.
Yeah.
It's about the
Yes.
success aspect. It's not about like what you're getting out of it.
Right.
You know, it's just priorities.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, and it's also like learning how to be happy
Yeah.
on top of that, you know, and that's
Oh,
a
man.
huge factor.
Yeah.
Like, we are constantly fed what happiness looks like.
Totally.
And instead of just like experiencing it, we're constantly chasing it. It's like we're addicts for happiness.
Right. But that's also like kind of a weird, like, toxic standard. Like, you have to be happy all the time. It's
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
no, realistically, who does that?
Right.
No.
Yeah.
What is that toxic positivity, right?
Oh,
That's
man.
a thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it totally is a
I'm
thing.
like, that it took a while for that to catch on, but yeah, because I remember before that it was just constantly being fed, especially in like the
Health.
like the health and like spiritual
The
realms. You
spiritual,
know, people
totally.
were just like, it's okay, it's fine, everything's great. You know, it's
Just namaste through it. No, you
namaste.
can't, dude.
Yeah. Humble
That was such a
abodes.
thing.
Yeah, no.
When
That
you
is
were saying
weird.
you didn't think you could get through it, I want to hear about that.
What do you mean? I forgot.
Today.
When did I say that?
GalaxyCon.
Today, yeah. I was exhausted by like the middle of it, dude.
Yeah.
We finally got a break because we went to like the family zone just to like chill out for a minute. And I just like went and laid down on the floor. I was like, oh my God.
Literally.
And those are like the little things that really do make a difference. Like,
Yeah.
you just got to do it for you. If you just got to, like, you know, like, go hide in a closet for a minute, do that.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Oh my God. I saw this video today, I think, on Reddit. like this morning when I woke up, it's a bad habit, but I do it anyways. This old man is like gonna take his dog for a walk, and it just like pulls him. It's leashed up, but the dog pulls him.
Yeah.
He falls forward, and he's like, "Sham it!" Like, and that's his, like, that's the like title, right? The man that says "Sham it," and he falls like a hard fall, and he's old, right?
Oh, no.
And he's just like, ah, like he's struggling. He finds like a pot stand, like a planter stand rather, and like tosses it. And his wife comes and he's like, oh my God. Or she's like, oh my God, are you okay? And he's like, get the dog, get the dog, get the dog. Like trying to tell her. And she's just like, wobbling over. She's like, oh, I gotta go get the dog. And then he's like, Sheila or whatever her name is. He's like, he gets up and like, he's like in his normal voice, like, Sheila, I'm gonna go upstairs and be alone for a bit.
Oh, you just needed to recollect.
Oh my goodness, that's our future.
Like
That's our future.
that was a traumatic experience for that dude, but like good on him for acknowledging. Like
Yeah.
he's like, yo, I need to be alone right now.
Yes.
And he was so respectful. He didn't even say damn it. He was like, sham it. like he was gonna say shit
Yeah.
and damn it, but then he
Yeah.
was just like, sham it.
Oh,
That's awesome.
my
That's a
God.
good one.
Yeah, it was crazy. I was just like, man, poor
So
guy.
let's all be like the Shamit guy.
I like it.
I felt for him, but yeah. I mean, it's necessary. You do need to take time,
Totally.
Little breaks here and there, like accumulative little breaks can also help, I think,
Yeah,
know?
definitely.
And it could be like as little as something as like just wash your face.
Oh yeah.
Like, like something that you don't, well, that's a bad example. You should wash your face. Like, I don't know, like,
Or you're going to say something you don't usually do.
Yeah.
And you're like, wait, I just said wash your face.
exactly.
Well, there is some science on the cold
Cleanse.
yeah, splashing your
I knew
face.
you were going to bring
Yeah.
that up.
Well,
I'm
why
just
did you-
kidding. I'm just kidding.
No, yeah, I mean, it makes
It's like
sense.
a reset. Like
Exactly.
you dunk your face into cold water, and it's like, all right.
Gets you out of it.
But whose science? Come on. Who can we trust?
I don't know. Huberman. It was Huberman. that did it.
Oh, I heard a really good critique on Huberman and like one of his colleagues
How
recently.
dare you.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to share it with you. It's going to shatter your whole perception of him.
No, it's not.
It might.
Okay.
Anyways,
Oh man,
Just like preparing
I'm
for
messed
it.
up right now.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
we'll see. We'll see. I don't know. I don't even know if I can find it. But anyways.
No.
So yeah, for you, like dialing all of that effort back a little bit, scheduling in some like personal time and intimate time and things like that really worked out. And now how are things going? Like, I mean, when first of all, I want to say like when you picked up that job working for the family, I was like, oh wow, she like did it. She achieved like a dream that I thought you always had of like wanting to be in nature.
Yeah,
And I'm
yeah.
like, she fucking did it. Like
succeeded.
She's
Yeah.
the one of us that did it. Bastard. I was a little jealous for a second too. I was like, man, I want that job. Like, why can't I
Yeah.
find a freaking boo that'll just take me out there?
Yeah. They're out there, honey.
Yeah.
They're out
You gotta
there.
find them.
Yeah,
Keep
huh.
searching.
Oh yeah, you gonna let me do that?
Oh, they're gonna take me
have
too.
to
What?
move.
Duh.
I don't know if they can do that. I don't know if they have a
We've got extra
capacity
hands.
for that. Yeah. That is
Exactly.
true. We have some extra hands we can put to work that
There you
need to
go.
be put to work.
There you
Oh my
go.
gosh, let me tell you.
Yeah.
Some knocking hands that came through.
They're ready.
I mean, idle hands, right? Are the devil's playground.
Quit knocking and start shoveling.
Dude,
Yes.
please.
It's time to learn.
Yeah.
But anyways, I remember thinking like, wow, you freaking did it, dude. Like, that's amazing. And
That's so funny.
and since then, now finding out like you weren't even like really going that route. It just happened. And you're like, yeah, let's do that. Let's see where this goes.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's wild to me.
That's
Okay.
basically what happened. I was like, all right, let's do it. I need a change. I need to get out of this.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's cool. And so you went from silence to Dia Luna.
Huh?
And now you've picked up so many. Well, no, during all that rather, you've also been in bands and stuff, right? Like you developed musical talent.
That was definitely before the businesses.
Uh-huh.
So when I moved to Austin, 2008, I was going to school. I wasn't really doing anything. So like music became like a really big hobby. And my boyfriend at the time wasn't very encouraging. So I would do it on my own time,
Wow.
even though he was a musician.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can relate to that though. I
Yeah.
totally know what
Oh,
you're talking
But
yeah.
I think it was like more threatening than anything.
Exactly.
You know? Because I had
Whoa.
already had like foundation in like violin and guitar, I was finding bass to be really fun. And he played bass.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like, it was a little weird.
What are you doing? Why are you stepping on my ground?
Yeah, and yeah, we don't have to get into too much detail about that, but
That's not, please.
but anyway, and yeah, all of our friends were musical. They were
Yeah.
just like, you know,
So weird.
yeah, they just all knew how to play musical instruments, and the thing was to jam. That was kind of like the social networking thing for for musicians. It's just a jam, right? And so I like just started picking up the bass. I didn't know what I was doing. I was just kind of going along with it, and we formed a band out of that. My now partner and I started a band, Sucka Please.
Please.
And
So good.
it was fun,
got to watch
man.
it.
It was so much fun.
I have one of the flyers that did by hand, so I'm gonna put it right there.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah. I love those flyers.
So
and
cool.
all of them are hand drawn.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so
All of them
cool.
came from his cute little noggin.
Yes.
And,
Made
yeah.
with love.
Oh,
Real
absolutely.
passion.
Absolutely. He's
Fantastic.
a very passionate person. Good Lord.
Yeah, super emotional.
Very. Yeah. I love that, though. I love that. As a,
Yeah, it's not a bad thing at all. I mean, I'm
Right.
the same way. I'm super
I was gonna
emotional.
say.
yeah. He taught me how to cry, no lie.
Oh my god,
I was
that is
not.
terrifying.
I was not a crier ever in my freaking life.
Yeah.
Really?
Ever.
She's
No.
so tough, dude. Always just like.
Yeah. Like a
well,
hard ass, or
Pura,
like
yeah,
you didn't want people to
machismo.
see that.
No, I think a little bit of both. I mean, I think my upbringing kind of taught me some pretty hard lessons to like, you know, just deal with it. And yeah, so crying was never like an outlet. It was never anything really helpful, you know.
Wow, so
and
I
also
found
having like Hispanic parents
Yeah.
who like don't really
Yeah, you suck it up and move on.
exactly. But yeah, my partner.
But I find that really surprising because, like, this may not be everyone's cup of tea, but as a Pisces, I figured that you were very in touch with your emotions and sort of like let them come out.
I am, but not that way.
Ah.
You know, like whenever people say like, "Oh, Pisces are crybabies," it's like,
Yeah.
not this one.
Yeah.
Like it's just not. It doesn't feel good. I mean,
Astrology's bullshit.
well,
Oh my gosh, that has nothing to do with it.
that's another episode.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I think at that time it just didn't like make sense for me to express myself that way. And now, like, yeah, I'm a crybaby.
Yeah, so now, like, you can cry to, like, I guess, release.
Oh,
like,
man.
does it feel good?
Yeah, but it doesn't even have to be out of sadness. Like now, I can
Yes.
cry out of joy, which is really
That's a fun
silly.
one.
It's weird. It feels weird. It's just like, why
is
am I
weird.
crying? I'm happy. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so where are you at now with, like, the balance of, like, business, love,
Oh man.
work?
Yeah. So, unfortunately, my contract was dropped. I don't know if I even told you
You did.
this. Okay, I did. My contract was dropped with a local shop that I was selling, commissioning out of. And since then, I haven't really like done much. My day job has been taking over pretty much my life, and that's no complaint. You know?
Okay, I was going to say, how do you
It's
feel
not
about that?
I love it. I love it, but there is still a part of me that's like, I want to get back to it, and
Yeah.
like moving has made that hard. Like
Right.
I'm still in boxes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I
You
need
have
to.
lots of work going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm also like getting to the point where I'm okay with taking things slow.
Right.
You know, like I'm okay with. I put so much pressure on myself before to just go. I'm over it. You know, and one thing that I tell people who struggle with that feeling of like, I feel like it's just capitalistic pressure to
Yes.
produce, right?
Yes.
I tell them, I was like, listen, if you're in it, like if your heart's in art, that art's always going to be there. It's not going
Yeah.
anywhere. It's always going to be there with open arms to comfort you. Whenever you need it, it's going to be there. So just rely on that and chill and take the time you need to get back to the right headspace, because it's going to come out in your art. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And some people thrive off of that, you know, like they thrive in those like hard times, and that makes the best art. It doesn't always have to be that way, but some people just thrive in those situations. But don't quit putting pressure on yourself to do too much. Like, just chill.
Well, awesome. I think a lot of that pressure comes from also the idea of like working for your passion by doing your passion, you know, and like profiting from it, so that's all you have to do, you know, and you don't have to work a side job or like a regular job or whatever else.
I get that.
Hustle. You have to keep going. You can't let it drop, or then you're not heard of, or you're not kept in the know. And
and I struggle with that idea because like if it is a passion, then you would be okay with all forms of it. You know, like you would be okay with taking breaks. You would be okay with, I mean, if it's like your sole source of income, that's a little bit hard. Right?
Right, because you have to keep
Because you have to keep doing it. But if it's something that like truly brings you joy, you should be comfortable in it. It's like a relationship. You should feel comfortable in like taking space for yourself in that relationship. You know, like you need to focus on yourself sometimes. That's not selfish. That's necessary. I
mean, inherently it's selfish, sure, but I mean, we can argue that.
It's not everything that you say, like, we're not everything that is in the selfish realm means that you're being wrong or bad or malicious. Because it is okay and considerate to be selfish, because you may be putting out the correct information after that, or the correct feelings. So if you don't take that time for yourself, how are you going to be doing it?
You can have healthier interactions after that because you're a bit more centered.
Exactly. You're doing it for you so that you can also bring it to the rest of the world.
They tell us to moms all the time is to make sure that your cup is filled before you pour out.
100%. And I don't think moms take that opportunity much.
So much pressure.
For sure.
Damn.
It's a big deal being a
Y'all
mother.
do a lot.
My goodness.
I went on a retreat with a friend, and most of them, she put on a women's retreat, and most of them were moms. And she coordinated these writing prompts, and almost all of the like things that were coming out was like, I need time for me, and I wish I had more time for me. I'm a mom. I give. I I never do anything for myself, and it's just like, geez Louise, y'all, like
it's so rough. Common. So common.
Where's the support? I mean, they have partners.
But if you have family, then sometimes that can be helpful. Like, I know there's plenty of mothers that do have support in that way. But a lot of the time, their partner's not giving the support that they need.
Well,
and
even
they
so,
think they are.
But even so, like there was, some of these women were saying like, I have a great support system, but they've put pressure on themselves to fill that role. Like, it's just something that I guess maybe they feel like it's going to be the right way.
There's a standard.
Yeah.
That's how they'll be appreciative, or that's how they know they're doing it right.
Yeah.
They're reaching their own standard, which is usually too high.
Interesting.
Wow. Yeah, and I'm over here kidless, and I'm just like, I'm gonna go,
But
massage
you have so
over here.
much responsibility.
It's a lot, but it's just, you just have to do it for yourself.
See, that's what I was thinking. Like, regardless of what you may have or what sort of responsibilities you might have, like everyone kind of does that to themselves.
Right.
Like, you just put all this pressure on yourself.
But where, like, when it comes down to like, where does that come from? It's got to be learned from somewhere. It's just out there in the ether.
Well, I think you touched on that with the capitalistic society. You know, we're all sort of running this program that we think we're supposed to do. And you get stuck in it.
And honestly, I mean, in any kind of society, really, I think there's going to be some sort of pressure. You have to contribute somehow, some way, you know? Even in more like... Even in like horizontally based societies, meaning there's no hierarchy, right? More anarchist based, autonomous ones. You still have to pull your weight in one way or another. You have to contribute, whether you could be like an emotional support, you can be, I don't know, a caretaker, you can, there's various options, sure, but like everybody contributes to the village, the community somehow, you know?
I think the sole difference between that though is that you're working for yourself for others.
Oh, absolutely.
You know,
100%.
like
Yeah,
there's a greater
The return is much more
exactly
gratifying.
Right.
and it's a lot more tangible. You
Yeah.
get to see it, like, oh, my community is helping
Yeah.
each other,
Yeah.
we're all thriving, kind of thing.
exactly.
Out here we're just, you know,
And this
doing it
way it's not.
ourselves.
It doesn't matter how much you
Yeah.
put into it. You're
Right.
probably not going to see the return that you're interested in,
Yeah.
or that would be more fulfilling.
Right.
Yeah. I hear some people talk about, who I don't agree with on a lot of things, but I hear some people talk about how like our society is very individualistic based,
Totally.
and how that's harmful to a society.
Yeah.
You know? But then at the same time, I'm just like, well, we're forced into it
Yeah.
almost. Like, you know, we're taught from an early age that we're special, we're individuals. Okay, sure. That should only go so far. You know,
Right.
like you have to understand also that you're part of something bigger as well. But in a smaller base community, right, which is where anarchy does tend to thrive, it seems to, at least, you know,
Right.
you're just more fulfilled.
Right.
You are, because you're living to actually live, instead of like doing something that you hate for however many hours a day just to get a paycheck from someone who's much richer than you,
Right.
who has more luxuries than you, and you're here barely making ends meet or whatever, and then you're still striving for these luxuries to a certain extent because you know how nice it can be just to like take a load off, you know,
Right.
and just not have to worry about
Well,
anything.
and you're
Yeah.
not a success unless you're doing that. Like,
I mean, there's
and
that.
That's
They're
a weird
put that-
standard.
Yeah,
It's so
they put the
weird.
pressure
Yeah.
on you,
Yeah.
even though you're working as hard as you are.
Yeah.
You're still not doing enough. Otherwise,
Yeah.
you would be successful.
Right.
Obviously, you didn't get the right, I guess, equation or the right formula
You
to
weren't
reach
dealt
that.
the right hand. You're unlucky. That's a lot of it comes down to luck. You just were not lucky.
Yeah.
We're lucky enough or
And
whatever.
even if you did follow the same process, it doesn't mean that you'll reach the same
Exactly.
standard.
Yeah.
of what they're
It's just
doing.
not, because the ratio to like successful people and unsuccessful people is huge.
It's a huge gap.
It's a huge gap.
Well, I love that people say you're much closer to being homeless than you are to being a billionaire.
Right,
Right.
exactly. Yeah. So there's a lot of little factors that go into it for sure. And I don't know, ever since I was introduced to like ideas of anarchy, it just always made more sense to me.
100%.
But it only works on a smaller scale.
Absolutely.
You can't have a place as large as like the United States
No
and
way.
expect that to work.
No way. Yeah. And I think that's why I appreciated our friend group so much, because we had a lot of tenets of anarchism in our thoughts. Like we
Yeah.
just like, I think we all like had this problem with authority, but
Oh,
we
yeah.
still respected it in like a,
Of course.
you know,
We had to.
good
You
don't wanna
Catholic
get in
kind of
trouble.
way.
You're not gonna-
Yeah, it's all fear based. Like, yo, I
It
don't
was
want to get
fear-based.
put in jail. I don't want
Right.
to get ticketed for anything. I don't want to, you know.
Yeah. But we wouldn't mind snagging a Kit Kat from the big box store every now
Y'all,
and
man, I was the good boy. Yeah, I was a good boy.
then. Use the lookout.
And anytime, anytime the cops came around, I booked it.
He
I was
was
like,
out.
y'all are on your own. I'm out of here.
That's one of my favorite memories of Joey and I. We were at a party. It was kind of late, like in like our senior year or something. Maybe I think it was senior year.
Those were very drunk times for me.
Yeah, and it was like this big party, this someone's backyard, and like as soon as we caught wind that the cops are here, Joey and I were hopping fences.
Yes.
Like ASAP. Like,
I just
you're not gonna catch us.
took off. I parkoured it before parkour was a thing. I was like later, all drunk.
Yeah.
And yeah, some of our friends did get pulled by the cops and sat on the curb, and
Yeah.
I think they got ticketed or something. I don't remember, but
Yeah, man, they were such assholes.
dude, it's just I don't know. But also within our social group and our dynamics, it was always funny because I never liked getting involved with decision making. I would always just stay quiet and let y'all figure it out, and I would go along with it. And dude, I'm still
what a
that way to
nightmare.
this day.
Yeah.
Because you guys would start getting like tense and like argue, and I would just be like,
Got real, yeah.
all right, so what are we doing? Like, I did not give a fuck. I'm just
Yeah.
like, whatever, dude. Like, we're gonna all do the same thing. Anyways, like, I don't understand why you guys are
Same
arguing
thing.
about it.
Oh, yeah. Power dynamics.
Yeah, it's
For sure.
crazy, dude. And like organizing just like hikes as we got older, like
Yeah.
in college times, dude.
worst
That's when
time.
I started taking a lead role,
Yeah.
and I was like, man, y'all are stressful as fuck.
Yeah,
Like,
we're a little
like, it's
dysfunctional
so
family.
hard to get you guys together. Like, why can't look? We're waking up at this time, and we're out the door by this time. We got to get there at this time, and we're walking.
We're just gonna walk that way. Yeah.
But then it'd be like, oh, well, so-and-so said that they can't do it right now because this came up, whatever. Or this person hasn't woken up yet. I don't know. I've been texting them. We
Yeah.
talked about it last night. And we'd be drinking the night before,
I know.
and we'd be like, "All right, you're gonna wake up. You're gonna wake up. Okay, you're gonna wake up." Like,
No.
Oh my god.
No, we're not gonna wake up. Obviously,
Dude.
we've got 2 hours of sleep.
but we did. We for the most part we pulled them off.
Yeah.
And then I got tired of doing it, so I was just like, I'm done.
Yeah,
I'm not doing it anymore.
It got hard. It got hard. God dang.
So,
A lifetime ago.
I mean, yeah, but none of us were taking care of ourselves at that point in our lives.
I was the most responsible, I think.
You think so?
I was the mom. I was totally the mom, and I hated that role, but I knew I was in that role, so I was like, okay, I'll do it.
Yeah.
Dude, I took care of it. Who took you to go to McDonald's?
That was one
gave
time.
you-
One time. I never needed it. Never asked for it. It was one time. I would just tag along. Okay.
You were
The
tag along.
other boys were the ones that needed mothering.
They needed help.
I had a
That's true.
me and Omar and I, we had very strong mother figures in our
Yeah.
lives. We were fine.
Yeah.
Okay. The other boys were the ones that needed it.
They needed help for sure.
And you mothered them, okay? Like when they said that, I was like, what are you guys talking about? She's the mom. And then I guess I started to kind of see it. I'm like, okay, yeah, sure. She like takes care of it. We all took care of each other.
Yeah, but I feel like I was the one who would go around, like especially like when we were tripping, and I would always go and check on everybody.
Yeah, and I just took that as like, you're being nice. Like I was like, okay, whatever. That's cool, dude.
She's
Like,
just really
Oh, she knew
nice.
she had a responsibility.
leave me alone. I don't want you here right now. I'm looking at this
Go
freaking
away.
alien in the dirt.
Oh my god. Whatever.
No, I mean, I always thought that was weird. I didn't see it, and until like later, I was like, okay, sure, that's like kind of motherly. All right, whatever.
I was the nurse at all the fight nights.
Ooh.
Were you?
I
don't remember. I mean,
was.
all the fight nights we had like 2.
Okay, all of them then.
Consistent.
I don't know. Yeah, I think we should wrap this up. It's gone a little.
Is it
over
long?
time,
Okay.
But
Yeah. This is fun.
I
This
mean,
was awesome. I loved this.
Yeah.
yeah. Moral of the story, I think, is like take care of yourself.
Take care of
Right.
yourself. It's worth it. It's never a bad thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard out here, and we just have to learn how to deal and adapt and cope with it, right?
Get sleep. Get some
Sleep
sleep.
is so important.
And drink water.
And
Yes.
water, yeah.
Yes.
Less alcohol.
Hydrate
y'all.
and rest.
No alcohol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how big of a difference there was until I stopped drinking. I'm like, whoa.
Same,
But I'm not
dude.
even trying to like put myself on a
Same.
high horse or anything. I still want
No.
to drink from time to time. I'm
Right.
like, oh, I get that itch.
But just balance it. You know,
Yeah.
you don't need to go on a bender every day.
Yeah, I don't think I can do that. I don't think
No,
I'm.
it hurts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying like if I have like one drink, then I'm just gonna spiral.
Oh
I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
think I
Well, yeah.
have that
There's
control.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
There's types of people. That
Yeah, it sucks. I
Just
hate
avoid
that I'm
it.
that type though.
No,
man.
you've
like,
but you've
think
got
it's your
everything
genetics.
else, and it could be genetic. Yeah,
Maybe.
You've
think
got other
so.
things.
I do. I had to learn to do other things.
Yeah.
So here we are.
Yeah.
Let us know about your self-care.
Reach out.
Like, comment, subscribe, as always.
And talk
Please.
shit. I
Yes.
want to hear this.
We're
this
so
We
good
want
at
to hear
it.
your hate comments.
We invite them because we get it. We get it. People are annoying.
Yeah. I know I am for sure. Like,
Same.
I fit the bill.
Same.
Oh God, but yeah.
But thank you for being here. We appreciate you always.
Yeah, dude. Thank you, Natalie.
Thank
for
you
doing
for
this.
inviting me.
Really appreciate
It was
it.
fun.
I was so excited about this episode.
Yeah,
I was just
me
like longing for it.
Me too. We could talk all day, dude.
But I mean, yeah. Do you want to like, what do they call it? Plug like your
yeah.
business or social media or anything?
Yeah, I'm not very active on social media, but I'm always happy to do customs. My handle is Dia Luna Arts on Instagram, Facebook, dialunaarts@gmail. If you want to go old
Nice.
school, send me
Yeah.
Gmail.
Yeah.
It's Spanish, so we might have to spell it out for some.
Well, put it in the
Oh,
caption.
sorry,
Yeah.
DIALUNA.
Right there. I'm gonna have to plug it in.
We'll also put it in the caption so that way you can click it and you
Okay.
just have instant access.
Yeah, we'll do
Oh,
that.
look at you, smarty pants.
We're trying to figure this out in real time.
Doing it. Y'all are
so
doing
much.
it. Thank
Thank you,
you,
dude.
guys.
And I
Appreciate it.
appreciate your support with us completely. Like,
I know.
you are
Yes.
such a
I feel like the
family. We're so
encouraging
happy.
mom, like, oh,
Yes.
this is such a
Okay,
good
here goes the
podcast.
mom.
I need that.
Okay.
I need it. I'll accept it.
Yeah.
He doesn't need a mom.
No, I mean this like I don't see Natalie as like a mother figure. I just see her as like a
not.
friend figure, dude.
Yeah.
Like she's a really good best friend. Like she's there, and I can go to her when I need her for anything. Almost.
it.
I know if she tells me nah, dude, I'll be like, all right, fair, whatever.
Yeah.
Y'all have an amazing relationship. relationship. It's
Yeah.
beautiful.
It's like my annoying little brother that I never had.
That hurts, dude, because I love you so much.
Well, I do
and,
too, but
just
you're
upset
still
me when you say
annoying.
things like that, okay? I'm gonna start crying now.
I can
he's
still
a good
love you,
boy.
but think you're annoying.
I'm a crier. I'll cry.
Let's
I'll cry right now.
Let's cry.
I can
Everyone
summon
cry.
it. I had a stressful day. I can summon it so easily.
Okay, off
Let's
camera.
have a cry circle.
God.
Everyone hold hands.
Just know after this, we're all going to cry together.
Yeah.
I don't want to. Either on camera or nothing. Okay. All right. Thanks, y'all. See you later.
Bye.
Peace. Be kind to each other. Oh.
Yeah. Sleep.